Hello everyone, and welcome to the third video in a new series we're putting out here from Nielsen Networking on security awareness. And we discussed two important topics during our first two videos, the first being phishing. During that video, we went over the background of what phishing is, how it can be prevented, gave you some tools and some knowledge to hopefully help you fight against those cyber phishing attacks that try to compromise you and your system and gain your personal information. The second was on the importance of strong, complex passwords. And we went over some standards from NIST. And now, unfortunately, we're going to talk about why those two things are so important in understanding and how to look for those phishing emails and why you have strong passwords. And that is because of something that's out there known as ransomware. And we're going to go ahead and ask our friend Google what ransomware is. And Google's going to return us with this definition. Ransomware, a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. And my friends, that is exactly what ransomware is. I've dealt with this on 3 or 4 occasions at work, and that's exactly what happens. Um, so we're going to go ahead and try to get a more descriptive definition here of what ransomware is. And ransomware is malware that employs encryption to hold a victim's information at ransom, your data. A user organization's critical data is encrypted so that they cannot access file, databases, or applications. And then they demand a ransom to provide access to that data. Now, first things first, I will say that they do not recommend you pay the ransom. Oftentimes, they're not going to give you the encryption key, even if you do pay it. Oftentimes, if you do pay it and they do give you the encryption key, they're going to target you again to try to get more money in the future. So the recommended thing is hopefully you have a good backup, which is another video we're putting out here that you can watch. So you're able to restore from this without getting extorted and having to pay money for something you may or may not receive, which is that decryption key. Second thing, ransomware is often designed to spread across the network and target databases and file servers and can thus quickly paralyze an entire organization. It is a growing threat. I consider it very mainstream and probably one of the biggest threats out there. It is generating billions of dollars in payments to cybercriminals and inflicting significant damage and expenses for business, government organizations, and individuals. They don't mention individuals there, but it definitely affects individuals too. Maybe not at the same dollar range, but it does. So you ask, how do systems get infected with ransomware? And I'm sure some of you can guess the first way is going to be with ransomware via phishing emails. That's why I really hope if you haven't watched it, go back and check out that phishing first video in the series here. And it's about 15-minute video, and I go through very thoroughly some tools, some things to look for, some red flags, some things that you can do to prevent becoming a victim of this nasty, nasty, nasty ransomware. Um, and it's usually through an attachment in those emails, or it could even be a link you click. They mentioned something here about drive-by downloading, and we'll discuss that because that's actually ties right into the second way you're going to get infected, and that is by visiting a website that is designed to infect its visitors with ransomware. This relies on you clicking links in emails to take you to those sites, or by accidentally typing in the wrong URL. Um, I'm sure you've all done it. I've been typing in my fingers, or the fat finger they call it, and I hit the wrong key and I hit enter and boom, it loads it up. Most of the time you're lucky enough it just is you've gone to the wrong site, or it's another website that knows what they're doing and they put like ads on there to different stuff to try to get you to go to their sites based on your typo. Or the last way is via physical USB drive, an external hard drive, thumb drive. They're infected, and believe it or not, they might just leave it up at the front desk, or just anywhere, and someone, oh, what's on this? They plug it in, and they're programmed when they're plugged in. As soon as the computer recognizes them, it does something that's called auto start, and it auto starts and installs that program. The auto start feature is meant for software. So when you have, like back in the day when you used to have a DVD and you'd put it in, it would auto start to you do your installation process. That's the same type of technology what they're using to actually get this malware to install the ransomware on your computer. So how can you protect yourself against ransomware? Back up your data. At the end of the day, if you're hosed and they don't give you your decryption key, even after you pay that ransomware, and you do not have a good backup, you are hosed. You have nothing pretty much you can do, because even a data recovery on your hard drive isn't going to be able to unencrypt that data. Um, so that is why it's so critical that you do back up your data. Um, Always back up your data. This is like the number one rule of IT, is always back it up and have a backup to your backup. If you're jumping out of an airplane, you want two parachutes, sometimes three, right? Have those backups. Check them often. We will be running a series on backups, so check that out. You can look at the playlist here, and they'll all be listed. Another way, and then it's probably just as important, this would be a step before that could actually prevent any of this happening. Keep your operating system, your software applications, and your antivirus all up to date. Do not just assume Windows is updating or Apple is updating because it's set to auto update. Sometimes those updates fail, and if you don't go in and proactively restart them, they will not run. Sometimes, believe this or not, I have seen it where automatic updates on Windows is disabled. So you might assume, oh, it's always running, I'm good. For whatever reason, maybe it was an antivirus program that had conflicts with it, or whatever it may be, you need to check and verify. Trust and verify that your backups and your auto updates are being done. And if not, update them. Another thing, practice safe surfing. Be careful where you click when you're on the internet. Be careful of where you're going on the internet, what you're typing, what you're searching for. And the last, stay informed. What you're doing right now, listening to this video I'm putting out here, this is giving you some insight. What can be done? How serious this is? How this can affect you, um, and your company. Because what if it takes your whole company down, and or worse yet, they take your data and they upload it to their servers and then they release it, which happens all the time with passwords. Um, so just stay informed what's out there. Educate yourself on how to detect these phishing attacks, the suspicious websites, and other scams, because I don't want you to become a victim of ransomware. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not trying to scare you, but I've gone through this firsthand, and it is scary. It is scary looking at all your data, especially when you're at a corporation and you have, hundreds of employees that are depending on you restoring that data because someone there clicked on a phishing email and infected the whole entire company. One individual can take down a whole company. So it is serious. I hope you learned something. When in doubt, don't click. Delete the email. Call to verify that email is legitimate, whatever it needs to do, but don't click it. Remember, you're the last line of defense before that infection gets into the network. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you could smash that like button. If you want to see more content in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Feel free to share this with anyone you want. Use it at work for training, and hit that notification bell again, because that will notify you when I put out some new content, which I plan to put out lots of various different content, especially security related content. All right. Thank you and have a great day.